Here we are going to talk about the oblique triangle with focus on the sine rule. But before we do that, let's talk about the oblique triangle. To solve for a side in the oblique triangle, you must make some observations. And in your observation, if you use the word opposite twice, then you must use the sine rule. If you use the word opposite and between, then use the cosine rule. Example 1, as you can see, x is opposite to 43 degrees, and 43 degrees is between 8 and 10, so that is the cosine rule. Take note, for the oblique triangle, which does not have any 90 degrees, the comparison is always amongst a side and an angle. Always. Here you have the sine rule, and here you have the cosine rule. So as you can see, for the oblique triangle, here you have an example of one. As you can see, side C is opposite to angle C. Side A, little a, is opposite to angle A, and side B is opposite to angle B. And here you have it. And angle A is between B and C. B and C is hugging angle A. The two lines form angle A. Angle B is formed by side A and C. It is between side A and C. And angle C is formed by sides B and E, or A and B. Angle C is between A and B. So the word between and opposite are keywords to describe the relative positions of sides and angle for an oblique triangle. Since there is no 90 degrees, you cannot mention the word opposite, and you cannot mention the word leg, because there is no leg. You cannot mention the word hypotenuse, sorry, since there is no 90 degrees, because the hypotenuse is opposite to the 90 degrees. So since there is no 90 degrees, there is no hypotenuse, there is no leg, and you cannot mention the word adjacent. It's either opposite or between. Right. Right. So here we have example 2, and we are going to make some observations. As you can see, the triangle does not have any 90 degrees. So therefore it is oblique, and take a note of that. Next, you talk about the side that you are required to find. You have to find side X. Side X is away from 60 degrees. X is opposite to 60 degrees. As you can see, there's a big gap between X and 60 degrees. You can draw an arrow from X to 60 degrees. So X is opposite to 60 degrees. Likewise, 10 is opposite to 50. So since you have mentioned the word opposite twice, then you know you've got to use the sine rule. And all you need is 2 fractions out of the 3. So only take 2, and then you substitute accordingly. X is matched to 60. X is opposite to 60. So you have X over sine 60. 10 is opposite to 50. So you have 10 over sine 50. So now you're going to cross multiply and then divide. So to cross multiply, we multiply X to sine 50. Here it is, X times sine 50, because we go diagonally across, and then 10 to sine 60. 10 times sine 60. And then we find out what is sine 50, which is 0.766. We find out what is sine 60, 0.866. And then we divide to cancel out 0.766 to solve for X. If you divide on the left, you've got to divide on the right. So 10 times 0.866 divided by 0.766 is 11.305 centimeters, approximately. to 3 decimal places.